Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. On this channel, I've often done videos fixing MacBooks and just talking about what it's like to run a repair shop. And as time went on, as I got closer to my 1000th video, I started to notice that there were a lot of intentional roadblocks tossed in my way to make it more difficult to do my job. That eventually turned into a conversation about something called right to repair, for which I've testified at legislatures across the country about how companies are making it more difficult to be able to fix what you own. And this eventually evolved into a conversation on how most companies across all industries, all devices, are making it more difficult to say that you own what you have bought and paid for. They want you to subscribe to everything. They want you going back to the company. They want recurring revenue, regardless of what that means for property rights. This is not the world that I want to live in, nor is it the world that I think many of you want to live in. And today I'd like to discuss yet another example of this. This comes from Ian Davis. Ian Davis runs a cool YouTube channel. He is missing certain parts of his body, and he's the type of person that when he's missing certain parts of his body, he figures, okay, I'll just make some myself. He's the kind of person that I think most of the people watching this channel would really be excited to pay attention to. He has a lot of videos making cool stuff like this, and he's just a cool guy overall. I highly suggest that you check out his work. It is really cool. And earlier, he posted a video on Autodesk. He purchased a copy of Autodesk, and like most people that thought that when they buy something, that means they own it, he has been proven wrong. So I'll play his video over here so that you can see.
So question of the day, when is your Product Design Suite AutoCAD 2013 permanent standalone license no longer a permanent standalone license? When AutoCAD says it is. Unfortunately, they won't generate a new license for me and are requiring me to buy brand new software on a subscription basis. Can't say that I'll be rejoining the AutoCAD family. Just something to keep in mind. Have a great day.
Now, I did a little bit of research, and it seems like he's not the only person that's had this particular problem. If you take a look, there are people that are asking if they can reactivate their license with older software, and it appears to be for people that have older versions. If you have older versions, their activation system doesn't appear to work the way that it used to. You have to do manual activation. And what gets particularly more annoying is some people need activation codes, some people don't. But more importantly, if you move on to a new computer, this appears to be the case that I've confirmed with several people who are actually using the software. You can use it as long as you like, but if you move to a new computer, you have to move the license as well, using the license transfer utility. If you no longer have access to the old license installation, you're out of luck. Autodesk won't supply you a new activation code. It's not fair, I know, but that's the way they work. Autodesk wants you to subscribe so you can use the latest and greatest at a price. So let's say that you have a computer, and that computer dies. It no longer works. You cannot boot up into the operating system because it is dead. And you want to take that piece of software that you paid for a lifetime license on, a permanent license on, and put it on your new computer. That's not going to work because you have to export the license from your old one. The paperwork that came with the software apparently is not enough to be able to use it, nor can you use their activate. This is... I mean, you see what they're doing here. They're selling something with the idea that you get a lifetime license. But if you actually want to use it again in the future, there's going to be all these strings that didn't exist at the time that you purchased the software. Many people have machines where they back up the data on the computer, but they don't do an actual image backup of the operating system. An image backup of the operating system means that you can literally boot that operating system again exactly as it was, not just having copies of your users folder. And this is something that happens very often for us as a data recovery company. People will say, listen, I really appreciate that you got all of my data back, but unfortunately this is useless. I need a bootable copy of my operating system before the hard drive or the solid state drive crashed. I need it to be bootable because I need to be able to export my licenses for my software. If I can't do that, your data recovery services are useless. So often we have to do a lot of trickery to try to not just recover client data, but also recover the client's drive in a manner that allows them to boot up that hard drive again, not just have access to their desktop or their documents folder so that they can actually export their licenses. This happens with a large variety and array of software because many companies are making it more difficult to activate software that you thought you bought a permanent license for. Even if you are no longer using that software on the old computer, even if you are incapable of using that software on the old computer because the old computer is literally dead and will not ever work again, you still have to buy another one. And not just buy another one. You have to subscribe. So you are permanently paying that company for what you thought you bought and paid for 10 years ago. And I think Mr. Davis has the perfect take on this, which is I'm not going to be a part of the AutoCAD Autodesk family anymore. I'm done with you. I'm going to build a middle finger and crank it up at you because that is what you deserve for taking software that I paid for and rendering it useless. I'm not going to reward you with giving you more of my money. That is a great way to look at it, and it is unfortunate because this is software that a lot of people use to be able to make stuff like this, and it's one of the best pieces of software that does this. It's one of the most widespread used ones, so it's kind of a waste. Now, I've been on YouTube for about 11 years at this point, and I know exactly what I'm going to read in the comments at some point. Well, not as much because I don't read Reddit anymore, and that's where these type of people tend to live. But, Lewis, all you ever do is complain. Why do you always... I'm sorry, do you think that this is the content I want to be doing? Do you think that I'd rather be doing content on how the world is becoming less respectful of the concept of ownership? I would much rather be doing videos that are positive. I want to do videos about right to repair bills being passed for wheelchairs in Colorado so that people who have wheelchairs don't have to wait 2 or 3 months to get a power button fixed and be stuck inside their homes. I want to be doing videos on how people who own John Deere tractors that they paid over $500,000 for no longer have to wait for somebody from the dealer to come out after they fix their tractor to plug a computer into it and run a piece of software to reset an error code. I want to be doing videos talking about right to repair laws being signed in Minnesota. I want to do videos talking about how companies like Arlo reverse their decisions to turn more things into subscriptions that weren't subscriptions when they bought the product. I want to be doing videos going over how people are using my nonprofit repair.wiki to post documentation and guides on how to fix things. I want to be doing videos showing free repair workshops, and I want to be doing videos on how to fix MacBooks that are seemingly now going to require GSX for half of the stuff that I actually do. I want to do these videos. In order to do these videos, I need to win. In order to win, I need you. Me by myself is completely useless. I am one person with a cat on an armrest yelling into a camera. I can do nothing individually to make this better, but I can do a lot of things with the help of all of you. 2 years ago, I ran a fundraiser that raised almost $900,000 to be able to do a ballot initiative and do all the lobbying that I do, so that when I go to speak at legislatures around the country, as I have, I am no longer working by myself. I am working with teams of people that are going to help me get this stuff passed. That help was made possible by all of you. And to be clear, I'm not asking for your money. I have enough of your money. I have enough money to lobby for the next 2 or 3 years at this rate. What I'm asking is for you to care. What I'm asking is for you to do something. We have a very unique opportunity in history right now. This channel started with 0 subscribers. As you can see, if you go back and arrange by oldest, because YouTube brought back the feature to arrange by oldest videos again, you can see that most of these videos that I did, nobody cared about. But when I got to a large company abusing people and multiplying their fee by 10 or 100 based on how much money they thought you were making, this video didn't get 3,000 views, it got 131,000 views. I believe that video that I did over 11 years ago did so well because there is an appetite in the modern day era for people who are sick and tired of being treated like garbage by all of these companies to start finally fighting back. We have an opportunity now, but more importantly, we have a movement. Right to repair is not just right to repair anymore. It is starting to become right to own. This channel did not get to almost 2 million subscribers just because of the cat. Although admittedly, the cat did have a lot to do with it. It got here because people were sick and tired of being treated like garbage. As long as we are fighting amongst each other, why is this person complaining about the fact that their software doesn't work? Why is this person complaining about something not being fixable? They chose that. As long as we're fighting amongst each other, we don't get anything done. I'm not asking for your money. And I'm not asking you to like me. What I am asking you to do is give a crap. Because if we don't give a crap now, we might not have a chance into the future to ever actually change anything. We have a chance to make an actual imprint on the culture. We have a chance to live in a world where we actually own what we bought and paid for, whether it is software or hardware. We have a chance to turn back the clock and go back to a time where we could fix what we own. But it's not something I can do on my own. I can point out the problems, and I can try to be a part of the solution in my own personal life. But I will make no impact on this world without all of you. I need the help of all of you. What I don't need are people pointing out, well, he pointed out there's a problem. Why does he always point out problems? I talk about these problems. I work on solutions to them, and I try to recruit people to help me because I want you to not have to live in a world where you have to deal with them. Do you think I want to live in a world where we own nothing? Do you think I want to live in a world where everything is a subscription, or when you buy something you don't actually own, or when you buy something you can't actually fix it? We actually have the capability now. We have the vehicle, we have the momentum, we have the people to push back against a world where we own nothing. And every single day, I'm going to push. But that's not a push I can make on my own. Individually, I have no power. The only thing that gives us power is solidarity, sticking together and deciding that this is not the world we want to live in, ensuring that everybody in our lives understands this problem and pushes back as hard as they can to ensure that this is not the world that we live in. We do have the opportunity. This is a pivotal point in human history, in my opinion. It's not just about a license. It's not just about an Arlo camera. It's not just about a power button on a wheelchair. It's not just about a tractor that you cannot reset the error code on. It is the very basic fundamental concept of ownership. Are we giving that up? Will you stand and fight with me, or will you whine about the fact that I'm pointing it out? You want to see me talk about something positive for a change? Help me win. You have no idea how much joy it brings me to be able to do a video saying that farmers that used to have somebody from the dealer come out to fix their tractor can now do it themselves. It brings me great happiness and joy to be able to announce that somebody who used to have to wait 3 months for a manufacturer technician to fix their wheelchair to leave their house again can now get around because they're able to find an independent that could show up the next day and fix it for them. I want to be announcing good news every single day on this channel, but unfortunately I am not enough of a success. I am not strong enough as a man to win as often as I'd like. I need your help to be able to win. And I want to be coming out here every single day to announce new wins. I want to come out here and announce that the Apple Independent Repair Program has been replaced with something that actually allows people to do their job. I want to come out here every single day and announce how a company that turned a license into a subscription turned that subscription into a permanent license. I want to come out here and announce that the consumer is winning again in America. How am I supposed to do that without your help? That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. If the presentation of this video seems off, it's because I'm high on benzos, opiates, ibuprofen, and some other stuff, otherwise known in America as a trip to the dentist. The last time that I had to get some impacted wisdom teeth that finally made their way through removed, I've been procrastinating this for about 17 years, I went to the emergency dentist because I was at the point where if I wasn't going to get them removed that day, I was going to go to the store and find the tool that we use for getting corrosion off of charge ports and removing underfill and take them out myself. The emergency dentist does not exactly have a light touch, nor do they have much in terms of oral sedatives or drugs. So I was sitting there with a pulse of 160 over 125, incredibly anxious because I'm scared of being cut open by things, and it kind of sucked. This time it actually went a lot better. I went to a real oral surgeon. It took weeks to actually book a spot. I had to get the other two removed because the tooth was right next to the nerve, and the dentist told me, and I quote, "I get paid by the tooth, and I'm not removing those." So I went to an oral surgeon that actually got them out much faster, and it was a very, I much prefer the experience of the oral surgeon over the emergency dentist. Like, there's much less pain in general and much better drugs. I'll be honest, I cannot ever criticize Jordan Peterson ever again for any of his addictions to benzos because, god damn, they're good. Anyway, that's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully when I'm less high, because I'm high as a kite right now. It's kind of fun, actually. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye now.